What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another FPL video on the channel. And in today's one, we are going to be looking at my game week 24 transfer plans, which does include potentially using my triple captain chip on Mohamed Salah for this double game week in game week 24. But before we do get into the video, make sure you guys do smash that like button. If we could get to around 50 likes, that would be absolutely fantastic. I really do appreciate the support that you guys have been showing me recently on the channel. So yeah, man, it does mean a lot. But with that being said, guys, right, a quick review on how we've performed so far in game week 23, because I'm actually recording this on a Sunday morning, right? As you guys can see, I'm currently sitting on 67 points and I'm on a green arrow up to 615k with still 3 players left to play. I still got Morgan Rogers, I still got Johan Wissa, and I still got big boy Jean-Philippe Mateta. So hopefully all 3 players can get on the score sheet, because that would be absolutely fantastic, man. But yeah, honestly, the way things are looking at the moment is just very, very good. Right, I think 615k is probably the highest rank I've been at so far this season. So just really happy with the way things are going. And like I've been saying, guys, man, my redemption arc is well and truly on. So yeah, things looking good at the moment. Hopefully Rogers, Mateta and Wissa do perform. Obviously by the time you guys are seeing this video, they would have already played, so hopefully they've done the business. But nonetheless, it's still been a very good week. As I said, we're on a massive green arrow. So yeah, man, but we're going to stop waffling on about game week 23 because we do have our transfer plans to speak about. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. So first things first, I just wanted to speak to you guys about potentially using my triple captain this week on Mohamed Salah, of course. As you guys know, there is a double game week in game week 24, and I actually do still have all my chips left available. I've still got all my chips left to use. I've still got my second wild card, my free hit, my triple captain, my bench boost, and of course the assistant manager chip that can now be activated. So with that being said, I feel like I have to use one of my chips in this double game week for game week 24. We're looking at potentially only 3 double game weeks, right? In game week 24, there's a double, of course, and in game week 33, there should be a double, and in game week 36, there should be a double as well, right? So potentially only 3 double game weeks, and I've still got all my chips left available. So if I don't use my triple captain now, of course, I'm not going to play my bench boost, I'm not going to play my free hit, I can't even play the assistant manager chip, right? Because I've got 3 Liverpool players. So if I'm not going to play any of those chips now, and I don't play my triple captain, it's one less week for me, or it's one less sort of option for me to use a chip in a double game week, right? I'd have to use one of these chips in a single game week, which really isn't ideal, right? So for that, on that basis, I feel like it just makes most sense for me to be using my triple captain this week, right? Because then it would mean I'd either have to play a bench boost, a free hit, or assistant manager chip, or even a triple captain in a single game week, and I don't really want to do that, right? So with that being said, we are looking at a triple captaincy on Mo Salah this week. Now, look, I'm not going to lie, right? The fixtures, Bournemouth away, Everton away, for me, it's not ideal. It's not really the best, right? In terms of fixtures for a double game week. However, like I said, I just feel like because I've got all my chips left, it sort of just makes sense to use it this week. So, yeah, and look, if Liverpool do get through to the Carabao Cup final, it means that they'll blank in game week 29 and they'll have this double in 33 against Leicester away from home and Aston Villa away from home. Now, I'm not going to lie, that actually is, for me, a better opportunity to use triple captain. However, you could argue this week, I could use my triple captain in 24, and for this double in 33, I could maybe play the assistant manager chip, for example, or a bench boost, for example. So this is what I mean in terms of when I say it feels like it makes most sense to use the triple captain this week, because I've got all my chips left available to use. So yeah, man, hopefully Salah can do the business if I do end up using the triple captain on Salah. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to have a sort of a quick segment on that. I want to let you guys know that the plan, most likely, I'm sort of 80% sure, right, that I'll be using my triple captain for game week 24 on Mohamed Salah. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments though. I would honestly love to know what you guys are planning to do, especially if you have all your chips, right? If you still got your triple captain available, will you be playing it on Mohamed Salah this week? Let me know. But with that being said, I did also want to talk to you guys about a potential transfer for my team as well, because I've got 2 free transfers to use, and potentially, right, I could be taking out Anthony Gordon and bringing in a Brian Mbeumo this week. Now, look, this isn't a move that I sort of have to do, right? I wouldn't say I have to do this move. It feels like a luxury move, to be honest with you guys, right? like Gordon, he's delivered for me. He's done really, really well. You know, he got an assist in the last game against Southampton. You know, he scored against Wolves. He scored against Spurs. He's been doing it really, really well, right? As you guys can see, 5 points against Southampton, 9 against Wolves, 7 against Tottenham, 6 against United, 10 against Villa. Like, Anthony Gordon has been pretty consistent, but with the upcoming fixtures, right, Fulham at home, it's not a game where you sort of have to, you know, I wouldn't consider this a game where I have to transfer a player out. But yeah, he's got Fulham at home, City away, Forest at home, Liverpool away, West Ham, and then most likely a blank in 29. Now, I see this as an opportunity to potentially move off Anthony Gordon and bring in Brian Mbeumo. Now, one thing I will say about Anthony Gordon, right, with those fixtures coming up, they're okay. They're not great, to be honest with you. I think the next 2 are okay, and then Nottingham Forest and Liverpool after that are pretty tough in my opinion. But look, what I will say is that Anthony Gordon, right, he has been pretty consistent, but what I will say is this: he doesn't seem to be like explosive. He doesn't seem to be an explosive FPL asset. He's kind of like the one return man, right? So I do feel like I wouldn't be missing out a lot if I was to bring him out this week, especially if I was to go to someone like Brian Mbeumo, for example, right? Because Brian Mbeumo, I definitely say he's more explosive than someone like Anthony Gordon. And I honestly just think, right, with these fixtures coming up, starting from game week 24, of course, I am actually recording this on a Sunday before the Brentford Crystal Palace game, just because I'm going to be busy during the week, right? So I got to record this now so I can get this video out for you guys. But yeah, hopefully Brian Mbeumo doesn't get injured in this game against Crystal Palace. But yeah, starting from game week 24, you know, Spurs at home, I think, is a great fixture. We've seen how poor Spurs have been defensively. And I actually just think this fixture run, right? Spurs at home, West Ham away, Leicester away, Everton at home, Aston Villa at home, and then Bournemouth away. From game week 24 to 29, I do love the fixtures for Brentford. And I'm honestly, I've already got Wissa. And I feel like if I was to double up on the Brentford attack with Brian Mbeumo and Yohan Wissa, those two could really help me gain rank and get me FPL points, because I just feel like if someone's going to score from Brentford, it's going to be one of those two players, right? If anyone's going to be involved in the goals and assists, it's going to be Brian Mbeumo or it's going to be Yohan Wissa. So it almost feels like guaranteed points in a way. That's how I see it. And I see Brentford scoring a lot of goals, especially in the next 3 games for them, right? Spurs at home, West Ham and Leicester. I see a lot of goals, and even Everton, man. So yeah, I really do see a lot of goals in this fixture running for Brentford, which is why I do want to double up on the Brentford attack with Mbeumo and Yohan Wissa. Of course, Brian Mbeumo does have the bonus of taking penalties as well, which is another reason why I do love him. So at the moment, that's sort of what I am thinking of. Again, like I said, I wouldn't say Anthony Gordon is a must sell, and I might not even bring in Brian Mbeumo yet. I actually do plan to bring in Brian Mbeumo at some point. If it's not Spurs, then maybe West Ham or Leicester. But I wouldn't say now is the time where I have to bring in Mbeumo. As I said, it feels like sort of a luxury move, but I'm not gonna lie, man, it is a move that I do sort of want to make. Will I do it? Like, will I actually go through with it? I'm not sure yet. I'd say I'm like 50-50. I don't really know, but it is something I am strongly considering. So that's just what I'm thinking at the moment, right? That is sort of my transfer plans for game week 24, potentially using the triple captainship on Mohamed Salah and transferring out Anthony Gordon for Brian Mbeumo. That is sort of what I'm thinking at the moment. But with that being said, guys, I do also want to have a look at sort of what I'm working towards and my future transfer plans with my team. So we're going to head over to planfpl.com and have a look at my future plans with my team. All right, guys, so we are on planfpl.com, and as you guys can see, this is how my team is shaping up for the double game week in 24. Looks pretty decent, but yeah, look, as I said, right, taking out Anthony Gordon is a potential move. Fulham at home, Man City away for the next 2 honestly isn't even that bad, right? It really isn't that bad. So it's not a move that I have to do, but it is a move that I kind of want to do, but I am pretty torn. But let's just assume that we do go through with taking out Anthony Gordon and bringing in Brian Mbeumo. That's sort of how the team would look for the double game week in 24, and it looks pretty good if I do say so myself. Pretty happy with this team, to be honest with you guys. So yeah, we'll move on into game week 25. And in game week 25, if I was to make that transfer by taking out Gordon for Brian Mbeumo, then I would most likely be rolling in 25. I'd definitely bring Gabriel back into the starting 11. We'd have the double Arsenal defense and the double Liverpool defense against Leicester away from home and Wolves at home, which honestly looks pretty good. And then yeah, we've got the double Brentford in Brian Mbeumo and Yohan Wissa. I just love that combination, man. I just feel like it's almost like guaranteed points, man. Those two they're just so good for Brentford. They are so good and instrumental for that Brentford attack. So honestly, that double up, I would really be happy with. But yeah, on paper, the team actually looks pretty good. I would say we do have a bit of a benching headache in game week 25 because I don't really want to bench Mateta against Everton at home. But who would do I bench Isak away to Man City? I'm not really sure about that, to be honest with you guys, right? That Man City defense isn't good, right? They continue to concede goals. They really do look vulnerable on the transition and just even like just defensively as a whole, right? In all defensive aspects of the game, Man City just look very, very poor, and they are susceptible to conceding a lot of big chances, right? So with that being said, I don't know if benching Isak is the play. Do I bench Amad Diallo? I don't know, man. That Spurs defense really isn't good. So, yeah, we do have a bit of a benching headache here. But ideally, I would want to start Mateta this week. Yeah, I really would, if I'm being honest with you guys. So, yeah, we'll just get to that when it comes, to be honest with you. But for now, we definitely be rolling the transfer again. And we look, at this moment in time, right, we definitely are looking to sort of stack up transfers to an extent, right? Because at the moment, I'm thinking to wildcard in game week 30, right? So, I'd basically be dead ending into 29. So with that being said, it would be valuable to sort of save a bit of my transfers, and I feel like at the moment my team structure does allow me to do that. So yeah, in game week 26 we would most likely be starting Mazraoui for Konate, as Liverpool do play Man City away from home. I look at the midfield 5, it looks pretty decent. We've got Rodgers playing against Chelsea at home, which honestly isn't a bad fixture at all, but we've got Mateta playing against Fulham away. So I'd probably start Mateta and be benching Morgan Rodgers this week. We've got Isak against Forest. We've got double Brentford against Leicester, which looks pretty good. And Ahmad against Everton away. So again, as a whole, my team looks pretty decent. The double Arsenal defense against West Ham at home, I'm not, too... I think that's a pretty good fixture on paper. So yeah, man, I'm not too upset about that. But we do have a potential transfer here. And potentially we could be taking out Rodgers, right? It is a move that, again, I don't really have to do because my midfield looks fine already. I'm happy with Ahmad away to Everton, and I'm happy with my front three. But what I could do is target Bournemouth's very, very good fixtures. They've got Wolves at home. So, yeah, potentially a move to Semenyo or Cliver. I think at the moment I do prefer Cliver. He just looks so good. And, yeah, the fixture run for Bournemouth is just, yeah, ridiculous. It's a ridiculous fixture run. It really is. So, I think a potential move for Morgan, taking out Morgan Rodgers and bringing in Cliver could be great, especially because, right, Morgan Rodgers is most likely going to blank in game week 29, right? So, at this point, he would have Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Brentford away, and then a blank in 29. So it sort of does make sense to bring out Morgan Rodgers for Cliver. But then the issue is for me, like, do I even... I'm more than happy to start Ahmad against Everton away. So if I'm bringing in Cliver and I'm not starting him, is it really worth a transfer? I'm not really too sure. It doesn't really feel like it is. And like I said, I'm more than happy to start Amad Diallo away to Everton. So yeah, I'm not too sure if I would make the transfer there with Morgan Rodgers. To be honest with you, it's a bit of a tough one. You could argue I could start Cliver and bench Mateta. That is also a play. I mean, Fulham away isn't the easiest fixture. So arguably, there is an argument there to be made that I could bench Mateta that week, but again, I'm not too sure. But rolling is definitely on the cards once again, and we could be rolling up to 4 free transfers. And we find ourselves here in game week 27 with 4 free transfers potentially. What I could do here, I think benching Alexander Isak away to Liverpool is definitely a move. So what I could do here actually, and if I roll the transfer and don't bring in Cliver, I could potentially take a punt, right? A short-term punt on maybe a Chelsea midfielder, as they do have Southampton and Leicester at home, right? In 27 and 28. So potentially a short-term punt, a differential pick, or maybe Noni Madueke, right? His minutes do seem pretty good. But, I don't have enough. I didn't realise that, damn, Madueke is 6.1 million. So I wouldn't have enough. So it would mean I would have to use a second transfer. And that is a bit of an issue. That is a bit of an issue because I don't really... Actually, to be fair, taking out David Raya could be a play. I mean, the fixtures for Arsenal aren't really great, if I'm being honest with you. Nottingham Forest away, Man United away, Chelsea at home. It's not really ideal. So potentially I take out David Raya. And maybe for who's at this, maybe I take out David Raya for a Chelsea goalkeeper. Maybe I take him out for Robert Sanchez. I mean, he's been pretty poor though. His form is not great. But Robert Sanchez, right, and target Chelsea's good fixtures in 28 and 29. And Robert Sanchez does play in 27 and 28, sorry. And Robert Sanchez does play in game week 29, albeit it is against Arsenal. But still, that could actually be a play. That could actually be a play. Potentially, we could bring him in. At the moment, I honestly don't think it's a bad shout. I don't think it's a bad shout. I mean, I would hope he would start both games, but yeah, that could be a decent little double move there, using bringing in Madueke and Sanchez and just sort of targeting Chelsea's short-term fixtures. I wouldn't be against it. And once again, the team on paper does look pretty good. I could even start Konate, but I think I'd probably just go with Gabriel there. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking at the moment. And then in 28, the team would look pretty strong with double Liverpool defence, Sanchez in goal, Gabriel against Manchester United away. He would probably, I do expect Man United, I do expect us to score against Arsenal, to be honest with you. But yeah, we've also got Isak with up against West Ham away. So I'd bench Amad Diallo, who's got Arsenal. And again, the team looks pretty decent on paper. It is something that I could do, and I didn't really think about it too much, but yeah, we could actually roll the transfer again and have 4 free transfers going into game week 29. But the only issue with this is, right, I don't really want to use my free hit in game week 29, right? So with that being said, I would obviously bench Mateta because they're most likely to blank. I'd bench Isak. I'd also bench Mohamed Salah, and I'm left with Trent and Konate blanking in game week 29. I'm not gonna lie, on paper, this team for blank game week 29 doesn't look ideal, so I'd have to sort of see what I would do. But look, I'm not gonna go on and on and on, but that's sort of my thinking at the moment, right? That is sort of my thinking at the moment. I don't even know if I'll go through with bringing in Madueke, right? I might not do it. I might still go for Cliver, but it just is sort of interesting, an interesting move to make as a short-term punt against Southampton and Leicester at home. I do sort of want to bring in another Chelsea attacker for those 2 games because the fixtures on, it's just the best 2 fixtures on paper you can get, right, in a season. So I do sort of want to be aggressive with that move. And maybe even I bring in 3 Chelsea attackers. Maybe I bring in Palmer, Madueke and Jackson for those 2 games. I honestly think that could be a fantastic play, but it's something I'll think about. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today's transfer plans video. I really do hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you do smash a like on the video. Can we get to at least, I don't know, 50 likes, 100 likes, whatever, I don't know, but just please smash a like on the video as it does help out the channel a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And yeah, man, thank you so much for watching, guys. We are so close to 2,000 subscribers, so once again, a massive thank you for all the support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. But with that being said, I hope you did enjoy, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. But until then, I'm out. Peace.